As we look back into the past of a little town called Salem, we discover the prominent issue of witchcraft.
Welcome to Witchery 101 with Maggie and Olivia.
Salem was a town of prosperous religious people whose only goal was to get to heaven. These people were called Puritans and followed strict religious rules in order to live a pure life.
Yeah, but in reality, they weren't really that pure. I mean, all the townspeople accused each other of ridiculous things. Hashtag witching.
Did you really just say that?
Yes, I did, Maggie. Do you have a problem with that?
No, but what do you mean, Olivia?
Lots of people were accused of witchcraft, but the first woman to be accused was Bridget Bishop. She was accused in Salem just because of the way she dressed. But people also said that she was murdering children, bewitching pigs, and coming to various townsmen throughout the night.
Did they really get mad at her just because of how she dressed? I feel like this is just like the Regis Society, if you know what I mean. Anyway, how did they know she was a witch?
They had lots of forms of witchcrafts. One form of witchcraft was people supposedly signing the Book of the Devil. Bridget was accused of doing this because, quote, the afflicted girls charged her with having hurt them in many ways and tempting them to sign the Book of the Devil, end of quote.
The Devil book sounds like the hate book in Mean Girls, and Abigail sounds like their leader.
Really, Maggie? Did you really just say that?
Well, it's true. Bridget was also seen in the dark by others and accused of, quote, entertaining into the wee hours of the night, playing forbidden games such as shuffleboard, and generally being the target of speculation and gossip, end of quote.
Those games remind me of the crazy things we do, Maggie.
Well, I think we need a break from all this information.
I agree. It's a lot to take in. I think we should ask the person that decided Bishop's fate a few questions.
Welcome, Judge Hathorne, to Witchery 101. We have a lot to discuss with you on the account of Bridget Bishop and what she was doing.
I'm happy to be here. What questions do you have about Bishop the Witch, as known in our Salem society?
Did you believe that Bishop was sending her soul on the victims of Elizabeth Hudra, Anne Patnam, Abigail Williams, and Mercy Lewis, and Mary Wilcott?
Maggie, you got all the names wrong. It's Elizabeth Hubbard, Anna Putnam, Abigail Williams, Mercy Lewis, and Mary Walcott.
Well, sorry. Anyways, can you answer the question?
Yes, I did, because as soon as Bishop stepped into the courtroom, all the girls changed in spirit. I believe that the change in the room was the spirit of Bridget Bishop's evil spirit upon the other girls. I then asked the girls if it was Bishop's spirit, and they replied that it was and that it affected them.
Whew, sounds pretty intense.
It truly was, but I was never scared. Wow, you must be brave. Next question. What evidence did you have against Bishop? Abigail Hobbs stated the bishop had been present at the meeting of witches in a field at Salem Village. She also had poppets in the cellar of her house with pins in them, which is not normal. The most relevant piece of evidence was a preternatural teat that was found on her body and mysteriously disappeared within 3 hours.
But couldn't that have just been like a bruise or a sore that healed?
It was seen as a teat, plain and clear. There's too much evidence against her to prove she is a witch. Thanks for coming, Judge Hathorne. We appreciate your time and your examples of why you thought she was a witch. Hopefully you can see my points and how they are valid and have a better understanding of why we decided to hang Bishop.
Thank you for your time. That was pretty awkward.
You made it weird, Maggie.
At least it's over. We're going to take a quick break. This podcast is brought to you by Witch Spoons. Witch Spoons for all your witching needs and eating needs. Shrunken heads, we got the spoon for you. Go to www.witchspoons.com to get 50% off your next order of witch spoons for all your witching needs.
I actually have some witch spoons, and they're really helpful. They help me eat my soup, and they're so useful. Go check them out.
I have a question for you. Do you really think Bridget Bishop was a witch? I certainly don't.
Maggie, there's so much evidence against her, just like Judge Hathorne explained.
But it just seems like they wanted to kill her because she's different, Olivia. Bridget was the first person to be accused of witchcraft. Therefore, the judge had nothing to compare her against. So they technically could not prove she was a witch. Bridget Bishop states, quote, "I know nothing of it. I am an innocent witch. I know not what a witch is." End of quote.
I see your point, Maggie. But there's too much evidence to show that she acted strangely and not like herself, which proves that the devil possessed her and wanted her to act indifferent.
Olivia, are you taking that crazy judge's side on this issue?
No, I'm just saying there's a lot of evidence against her in Salem.
Well, I act crazy all the time. Are you saying I'm a witch?
Now that you mention it, Maggie, I think you might have the qualities of a witch.
What? I am not a witch.
Well, I mean, you did think Spaniards were birds, so the devil must have confused you.
Wow. Way to bring up that conversation.
What? It was funny.
I know it was. I didn't know what a Spaniard was. Gosh.
Yeah, just like when you thought Halloween was made by the Americans.
Okay, now you're just messing with me.
Yeah, I might be, or I might not be. At least I'm not the witch here.
You're so mean. At least I can't be hung at the stake like Bridget Bishop was in 1692.
Bridget was the first to be hung, but there were lots of witches accused of witchcraft. But Bridget was one of the only ones that was accused just because of the way she dressed in Salem.
Wouldn't it be weird to see people accusing each other as witches today?
I think it'd be funny.
Why do you think it's funny?
I just imagine a witch having a green, ugly face with moles and a black pointed hat, just like Halloween.
Wow, way to be stereotypical. Not all witches are like that. Some could be pretty.
Maybe it's a disguise. You never know. Maybe you can be in disguise at this very moment, and you could actually be a witch.
Wow. Okay, what are you trying to say, Olivia? I bet you know someone who's disguised as a witch, but is really ugly.
Yeah, that's actually you. You just got owned.
Fine. What if I am a witch?
That means you should be on trial in Salem, and we probably shouldn't be friends.
Well, at least I'm going to heaven.
Looks like we have to call Judge Hathorne back in to decide your fate of if you should be hung or not.
Olivia, knock it off.
Okay, I'm just kidding, Maggie. Why do you think so many witches were accused of witchcraft, especially the women?
I think it's jealousy of other women in the town. Don't you know how girls can be with jealousy?
Oh, don't remind me. There's too much drama at Regis already. But you're the biggest copycat.
It was only one shirt, Olivia. One shirt. There weren't any other in the store that I liked.
Well, you can't return it now. I also think the act of bullying proved that some of the townspeople just wanted land.
I agree. Just like in the play, The Crucible, most of the townspeople just accused each other of witchery just to take each other's land.
Yeah, especially Mr. Putnam, who would just accuse people so that he could get everyone's land and become richer.
Well, I think this is a great podcast. Thank you for listening to Witchery 101. Next week, we'll be talking about herpetology and herpetology affecting witches in the society.